If today was your last day, what would be the last photo someone took of you? For the individuals on this list, it's pretty terrifying. From a photo of a girl taken by her kidnapper, to a photo of a man with a bear that would later maul him to death. I'll be discussing these and more only on today's top 10 list. Starting off this countdown, we have Prabhu Batara. Prabhu Batara was a taxi driver in India that got mauled to death by a bear after trying to take a selfie with it. He was driving some passengers home from a wedding when he spotted a bear by the side of the road. He got out, leaving the passengers in the car, promising he would only be a few minutes. The bear was injured and trying to drink water from a pond. When he got too close to it, the bear attacked. He got pulled to the ground and clawed at. The photos you see here are photos people took of the incident as it happened. Now, people did go to his rescue, but were afraid for their own life. So they tried to scare off the bear by throwing rocks and sticks at it. But in the end, this enraged the bear even more. He passed away minutes after these photos were taken. Moving on at number 9, we have David Johnston. David Johnston was a 31-year-old volcanologist that fell victim to a volcano explosion on May 18, 1980. 13 hours before his death, this photo was taken of him. That was the very spot that he was killed. So on that day, it was Johnston's shift to keep an eye on Mount St. Helen, the mountain where the explosion occurred. He was 6 miles away from the volcano. That morning, the eruption came fast and without warning. As it was erupting, he signaled to the base saying, "Vancouver, Vancouver, this is it." Shortly after he radioed that, he was killed by a lateral blast from the volcano. Sadly, his body was never found. All that was left were remnants of his trailer. Now, it breaks my heart seeing that photo. Just look how happy he looks. Little did he know that 13 hours later, that would be it. And at number 8, we have the Dangerous Selfie. Taking selfies any and everywhere is kind of the new norm, but you would never think that a selfie would be deadly. Sadly, you'd be mistaken. Back in March of 2017, best friends Nitzia Mendoza Corral and Clarissa Morquicho Miranda were taking selfies on an airstrip when they were hit and killed by an oncoming plane. The two were standing in the back of a van when this happened, but they were warned not to do so. They took this photo, and moments later, they were hit by a wing of a plane that they didn't see coming. They passed away instantly. Now, when you look at this photo, it just feels so dark, knowing seconds later the girls lost their lives. Coming in at number 7, we have the Extreme Selfie. 26-year-old Wu Yongning was known for his extreme selfies. He was considered a rooftopper, which means he would stand on high buildings or structures or other precarious places and take photos and videos doing so. He made a living doing this, and he would do so with no harness, net, or safety equipment. This photo was one of the last photos he ever took. That was before November of 2017 when he died after falling off of a 62-story building. He was doing this as part of a contest to win 100,000 yuans, but this would be the last of his dangerous stunts. He climbed up to the top of that building that day with the hopes of winning that prize. He never thought it would end the way that it did. Coming in at number 6, we have Gary Slock. This selfie is of Gary Slock and his mother aboard their flight. Little did they know the horrors that would soon await. They were both excited for their vacation to Malaysia. The trip was designed for single parents and their children. Sadly, 3 hours after that photo was taken, a missile shot down the plane as it flew over eastern Ukraine. There were no survivors. The two were so excited for their trip, they referred to it as their dream holiday. Again, just look how happy the two were. This breaks my heart. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the deadly Tinder date. A lot of people use the dating app Tinder, but there have been a number of Tinder horror stories of dates going terribly wrong, including this one. This is Cindy Loof. This is also the last photo of Cindy. Cindy was very excited to meet up with her Tinder date, Audrey, but Audrey wasn't who she said she was. She was actually a girl named Bailey Boswell. The two had already gone out the night before on November 14th, 2017. On that day, she sent a message to Bailey asking if it was only going to be the two of them. Previously, she had gone on dates with other women who would try to bring a male along for some extra fun. But Bailey reassured her it was only going to be them. On November 15th, on their second date, Bailey brought her boyfriend along. Bailey then convinced Sydney to participate in some acts with the two. This led to them playing a game in which Sydney was choked to death. So the last photo of Sydney was her all excited for her date, which would later take her life. In our fourth spot, we have Anne Faber. On the evening of September 29th, 2017, Anne Faber went out for a bike ride by herself. By 6:50 p.m., she got caught in the rain and sent this selfie to her boyfriend. An hour later, her boyfriend reached out to her, but by then it was too late. Anne had already been kidnapped. Her body was found 2 weeks later in the woods. That was the last photo Anne ever took, and also the last photo of her. Moving on, number 3, we have the Stowaway. At 14 years of age, Keith Sapsford was sent to a Catholic residential school. He hated it so much that he fled, heading to the Sydney airport with hopes of stowing away on an airplane headed to Japan. But his plan took a deadly turn. On February 22nd of 1970, he snuck into the airport and climbed into the airplane's wheel compartment. He waited there safely for the plane to take off. Sadly, when the plane was 200 feet in the air, the plane wheels retracted and he fell 200 feet to his death. At this time, a photographer named John Gilpin was taking pictures at the airport when he saw the boy falling from the sky. He managed to capture this photo. That was the last photo ever taken of Keith. Literally, you see him falling from the sky. It's creepy. In our second spot, we have Japan Airlines Flight 123. This photo was recovered from Japan Airlines Flight 123, the flight that ended up in disaster with the plane crashing and 520 people dying. This incident is said to be one of the deadliest single plane crashes in the history. Only 4 passengers survived. On August 12, 1985, the plane took off at 6:12 p.m. and was scheduled to arrive at Osaka 1 hour later. But during the flight, the pilot had trouble controlling the plane, and they began to lose altitude quickly. This photo was taken as that was happening. You can see the oxygen masks drop down as a result. After failing to gain control of the plane, it crashed into Mount Takamagahara. This is the last photo of almost everyone on board. And in our number 1 spot, we have Regina K Walters. Back in 1991, Regina K Walters and her boyfriend ran off together. Later, they were picked up by a man named Robert Ben Rhodes. He was known as the truck stop killer. He was a serial killer that murdered over 50 women. Regina K Walters was his last victim. This photo is of Regina after being abducted by Robert. He forced her to cut her hair and made her wear that dress and the heels you see in the photo. He then proceeded to take a number of photos of her, including this one in which she looks terrified for her own life. These photos were taken in an abandoned farmhouse where her body was later found. So the last photos of Regina were taken by her killer in the place she died. What gets me the most is the look in her eyes. She looks terrified, as anyone would be in her situation. Alright guys, that was a pretty intense script, so let's try and brighten the mood with some comment shoutouts. I'll be shouting out some comments from the video Top 10 Dark TikToks That Will Give You Nightmares. Moto Mac Mazine commented, his laugh though. I know, Landon's laugh, like, we'll be working in the next room and he'll be filming and laughing and we can hear him. That's how loud it is. Samantha Matson commented, with the first one, I had a bowl of cereal in my hands and the milk spilled all over me. RIP, sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. But don't cry over spilt milk. That's why they have that saying. But seriously, sorry, the video spooked me as well, so. Ursula Wolfsong commented, most amazing top 10 has 6.66 million subs. Kinda sus. I'm a little spooked, so can you guys get us to 6.67 please? Anyways, that's all the comments I've shown out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shoutout. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see ya. If today was your last day, what would be the last photo someone no. But in the end, this enraged the bear. From the volcano. That morning, the eruption. Wow. The two had already gone out. At 14 years of age, Keith Sapsford. At 14 years of age, who the heck talks like that? Whatever. Including this one in which she looks terrified for her own.